Welcome to the Adam Friedland Show podcast. We got Mike Recine today.
Great to be here.
Welcome, Mike. How are you?
We got Beetlejuice.
We got Beetlejuice. Fresh off the RICO case.
Yeah.
We're going to beat this thing.
I hope so.
I can't believe it's illegal to criticize.
We should make a movie about you called Carlito's Wait. Oh, boy.
I was trying to think of another gangster movie.
Yeah.
And insert fat into it.
Yeah.
I think I've lost a little weight, actually.
You have. You look great.
Thanks. It's you got to show up. I did 600 pounds on the leg press last week.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And
what
then
was her name? Fat lady.
Yeah.
What's the biggest you ever caught?
Huh?
What's the biggest you sniped in your life?
I don't know. I mean, I'd probably been with some big ones.
Like 800, 900?
Yeah, like 800 or 900. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I went to the Stav graciously invited me to the premiere of his movie this weekend.
Oh, shout out. Yeah, guys, check out Stav's movie.
Check out Stav's movie. It was very funny. And then I saw him after, and he's looking trim.
Good.
I can't tell, and I don't want to be, because I saw him on a big screen.
Yeah.
And then I saw him in person, so maybe it was like the comparison. Because on the screen, he looks 20,000 pounds.
Was it IMAX?
It was IMAX,
Yeah.
And even still, we couldn't frame him up, But
it was the Sphere.
yeah. It was the Sphere.
It was at the Sphere.
Yeah, and the movie was mainly just one of his nipples. No, it was very funny. It was good. But it was weird because they did it was pitched as like there was a Q&A afterwards.
Uh-huh.
And... I've been to premieres before, and I always thought, Q&A is, they come out and they answer questions and stuff.
Yeah.
But they got to the end, and then it was just Stav, and then he sat down. He didn't have a microphone. They were just bringing out like shrimp and
okay.
And like pigs in a blanket and
They're betting on how much he could.
A bunch of cheese that he was dipping it in. So I guess it was. I looked close. It was queso and appetizers is what it stood for.
Oh, okay.
So they had to watch it as queso and appetizers.
It wasn't a Q&A. It wasn't that type of Q&A.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I went to see it. You
just did that right there on the spot, huh?
What's that?
That wasn't pre-written or anything.
What?
Q&A? The Q&A bit?
No, I've been thinking about that since the Q&A.
Oh, you had that in the barrel.
I was sitting in the theater. In the theater,
yeah.
And I would look over to people and I'm like, "You think that stands for queso and appetizers?"
Yeah.
And it's mostly young. His audience is all young women now, so they're like, "Please stop talking to me. You smell like a yeast infection."
Who are you?
And I'm like, "It's a different type of bacteria that only guys get." Excuse me, and it's in my throat.
Yeah.
Because I've had a lot of dental issues this year, ma'am. But there was a sad moment in the theater for me personally, because he's got all of these like Stav fans now. It's not just Cumtown people,
right?
And we're watching the movie, and early on there's a scene where you see his nuts for it could have been more than like a third of a second.
God damn it.
Well, what did you think was going to happen, dude?
I don't know.
That now it looks more appropriate.
Let me see.
Now it looks like you're wearing your clothes.
You try to dress
filled
nice
all the way
for
up
the
to
pod?
the top, and I just
Yeah.
coffee all over.
Well, it's got a straw. That shouldn't have happened.
But that always happens to me for some. I'm used to. Anyway,
Let me get back to me. My poignant moment in the theater.
Mike,
He's got all these-
scoot back. I can't see beautiful Nick.
He's got these fans now, right? And we're sitting there in the theater, and there's a scene early on where you see his nuts, and it's like just a flash, right? He's showing his nuts to the guy next to him. The second it's not even a second. But I go, those aren't his nuts. And I know they're not his nuts.
Oh, okay.
And no one else in the theater does. And I say, it's like if you were in a band with somebody, and they were doing you guys were making real music together. And then they leave, and now they're in a very successful band. You feel great for them, and you go see their big show.
Yeah.
And they're playing their number one song, and it gets to a certain line in the song, and you're like, they made him change that line. They made him change that line.
Those are not.
Those are not his testicles.
This is not my beautiful nuts.
I know what his nuts look like.
It was somebody else's, or do you think they were prosthetic?
They made him use prosthetic nuts. I asked
why?
him about it.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Because I think it's illegal.
Is it?
Yeah, to show your testing, even if you're it was supposed to be funny. I mean, maybe it just seems safer, maybe to use.
I think you can show. I think you can show soft dick.
It could be for a ratings thing, but it could be it's like if you were making. Look at all the movies that came out in the 70s now, and they're like, yeah, they actually raped all those actresses. And if it was the 70s, it's pre-AIDS. I'm like, yeah, we're trying to get something real here. Obviously, rape her, you know. But
oh god,
in retrospect, it's like
I don't know
Yeah.
who's going there.
Because I'm reading the Power Broker.
Clever trick,
Right.
Clever trick that
Right.
the women played on letting that happen, and now so they could accuse amazing directors years later of some sort of malfeasance.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it was probably foresight because, sure, now in the world we live in, showing your real nuts, that makes sense. But in 15 years from now, that'll probably be like doing blackface.
Did he get better nuts or were they worse nuts?
They were worse nuts.
Really, he's humble.
Yeah.
Wow, shout out to Stop.
They had to get
He's
him
a
worse
good
nuts.
guy.
Yeah.
He got worse nuts.
I don't think that was his choice.
What do you mean? It's his movie.
I don't think but I think they forced him to use shittier nuts.
For the character.
And that's what I mean. That's why I'm like, they didn't even let him use his real nuts. You get all this success,
Yeah.
and then still somebody's going to come in, some network suit, and say, not only are you not using your real nuts,
They're gonna be worse. Yeah.
They're worse. And they're designed by an Indian woman who we have to give an opportunity to.
We have a diversity clause.
The diversity hire is the one
nuts?
designing
The prosthetic nuts lady.
Yeah, right.
The person who made them.
Did you see that? There's a question on the ballot about film production, like that. NYC's going to set
Proposition
up as a czar.
6.
Nick and I just voted no, and that's
I
it.
didn't vote no on that.
You didn't? You voted yes on that?
Well, I didn't vote on I only voted on one thing, Prop 2.
The
I
trash
wrote in
cans?
Jill
He wants
Stein.
rats.
I wrote in Jill Stein, and I voted no on Prop 2.
I wrote it in
Prop
Hawk
2
Tua.
expands the Department of Sanitation's ability to enforce rules about putting garbage in places. And it's like, you should have thought about this 300 years ago when you designed the city. It's not my
without
fucking
Alice.
problem. You know, it's like, it's not my fucking problem that...
But your landlord would get a trash can, and then there would be less rats. How are you so passionate about the one thing that makes less it nicer?
Because I wrote in Jill Stein, and I think I might be a member of the Green Party now. I think I might be, fuck it. We got trash that leads to rats in the city. The Republican answer is let's make it so here's how we can do it is we'll make it legal for landlords to pass on the fines from sanitation violations to their tenants.
Is that part of the law?
Well, that's what Republicans would want, whereas liberals would say, oh, well, how about this? The landlords have to pay for it. But then we'll have all of these Baroque rules about when you can put the trash can out and the type of trash can. And it's like, oh, well, my friend who's going to design the trash can, they'll be in it. And the trash can, they have to be pride themed, whereas the Green Party will say, how about this? If we just flood the city with rats, then there won't even be garbage because they'll eat all.
They'll eat all of it.
And then we don't even
great.
need the Department of Sanitation.
Yeah.
So that's my thinking: is you just leave the garbage out, get as many rats as possible, and then it'll become like barnacles, basically.
But then my wife's family will be upset because they won't have jobs anymore.
Your wife's family are rats?
No, they're sanitation workers.
What are you talking about? I thought you were Italian.
Yeah, they'll have.
So your wife's family eats garbage?
I don't
off the
understand
No, they
this.
pick up the garbage.
Mm.
They Sorry to raise my voice.
That's okay.
Yeah,
You spilled all over yourself. You're having a tough day.
We're gonna beat this thing.
I
Your
hope
case.
so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I'm actually representing Mike in court.
I don't even have dress socks. These are, I guess there's a Christmas themed sock that I hadn't
That's
realized.
the nicest
I didn't
socks.
realize they'd be showing on the show.
You look like a black father trying to get his son back.
Thanks.
It's like this is an insane look for you.
Thanks.
One of the saddest things I've
feels
ever
good.
seen. I had to go to jury duty, and there was an older African American gentleman that had a dusty suit on, showing up at the civil court, and as a suitcase, he was using a PlayStation 3 box.
Really?
He's a businessman.
Yeah.
He was a lawyer, or he was a.
I don't know what
Oh,
was
okay.
going on,
Just a
but it was
briefcase.
as a briefcase. It
As
was
a
a
briefcase.
PlayStation 3 box with tape around the edges to reinforce it.
Okay.
And that is not a fucking racist lie that I made up. I saw it, and it made me feel bad.
Yeah, you just never know what people are going through or what they can afford. I
mean,
guess.
when you see that, you know it's a lot. You know it's
Yeah.
not anything good. That's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you know so much about the legal process? Whenever I have a question in that area,
make it up.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm always like, where did Nick learn about
Nick
this
is
stuff?
your lawyer?
I don't know, and I don't.
Look at your lawyer, dog. You going to
You
jail?
talk about legal stuff all the time. When I broke that guy's table a few years ago, I called Nick and I'm like, "What's happening? I broke this guy's table. He's refusing to pay for the job."
No, I'm just telling you what my argument would be.
Right.
But
I know, but you use all these legal
I'm
terms.
one of those guys that would be in court like, I'm a sovereign citizen, and then I get the death penalty for not paying a fucking traffic ticket.
For not having a trash can?
Don't listen to me.
Yeah, but you
I was
Nick,
angry
but-
on your behalf and
Right.
getting defensive, and like, here's how I
You
would.
wanted me to call the police on the garage.
I did not want you to call the police
You're
in the
the
garage.
Karen
I
ass
said,
Nick.
don't fucking. I said, wait until I get down there to talk to these guys. Did
I
I,
didn't
not?
need you to clean
I
up that
never
mess.
told you to call the fucking police.
Listen, the guy was disrespectful, and I just, you know how I deal with problems.
They forgot the door code to a Tesla and blocked his car in, and they were like, "You're going to come back tomorrow to pick up your car."
And I was like,
Adam
"That's
was like,
fine."
Adam was like, "I'll pay for it now," and they're like, "No, you have to pay for it tomorrow." And
No,
they
they
were going
said
to
I had
make
to pay
him
for
pay
overnight parking.
They completely inconvenienced him by not being able to get his car out of the lot.
Can we dial the story back a little bit?
Yeah.
What happened? You had a Tesla.
Adam parked his car in the garage.
He had a car.
He had his car, and he
You
parked,
own a car.
He owns a car,
A
So-
Tesla.
a
No,
Volvo.
somebody-
No, a Volvo.
He has a
somebody
Volvo,
else has a Tesla.
We're not even
a
friends,
Volvo
bro.
Vagina.
You're so anti-Semitic.
even-
You don't know
you don't-
I have a car.
I knew you had a. I'm
Well,
like,
it used to be a
Palestinian's
Palestinian's car, to be fair.
What's
but
that?
It used to be a Palestinian's car.
Oh,
to be
okay.
fair. So he parked his car in the garage.
Yeah.
And he goes to pick up his car
didn't,
in
by
the
the
late
way.
afternoon. And he
didn't.
gets there, and they're like, "Yeah, we can't get your car out because there's a Tesla parked in front of it, and the Tesla has like a code
Yeah.
in addition to the keys.
Oh, okay.
And we forgot the code.
Okay.
So they fucked up, blocked his car, and
Right.
they can't get it
In
out.
a garage.
In a garage.
In a garage. Right, a
So,
block
so
away
they
from
said,
here.
you'll have to
Okay.
come back tomorrow. Right? So he goes, okay, I'll come back tomorrow, but I'll just pay for the parking now. And they're like, no, you're going to have to pay for the full term.
I'm going to charge him another day.
They're going to charge him another day.
Overnight
for
Fuck out of
parking.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And any normal person would be like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah.
Either either the parking's completely free.
Yeah.
Because this is when I need my car. And You're
Yeah.
keeping it for another fucking day.
Yeah.
Or like I mean, I'm not paying fucking anything.
Yeah.
Like that's where you start.
That's the thing. Even like the tiniest injustice will make you like want to fight.
And then
you know what I mean?
he's like, they're gonna make me pay for another day. And then,
No,
like, why did you even
the
fucking
guy
tell me
yelled
that?
at, okay, that's
I was like,
not what happened. What happened was he's like, you need
And the
to
guy
pay
was yelling at him.
overnight.
He's like, "Fuck you!"
He's like, "Fuck you! I give
Fuck
you
you, you have to
discount
pay?
all the time. Fuck you!" And I was like,
Get out of here.
I was like, bro, I don't want a problem. I
Yeah.
can't clearly have my car right now. I'll come back tomorrow.
yeah.
And he's like, you give me shit. And I was like, listen, brother.
Yeah.
Like, just what? Like, and then his
And they
coworker
forgot
was like,
the code to the Tesla.
no, his coworker was like, listen, man, he has problems.
Oh, okay.
He has a lot of problems.
His family was killed by Sicario.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay.
And I was like,
And
listen,
they're
I've
wait,
seen
he just starts
Sicario.
describing the plot of Sicario, and you're like, "That's Sicario."
Listen,
And then
brother,
he's like, "Okay, how about this? He was actually, so he was a witch, and there was a princess who was asleep, and she lived with midgets, and everyone thought he was a bad guy, but actually he has his own stuff going on." You're like,
Yeah.
"Wait a minute, that's the musical Wicked,"
Uh-huh.
and he's like, "I think he's figured out my scam." I say there was a problem with the parking, and then when people fight about it, I say, "Okay, listen. So he is a mentally disabled man living in South Carolina, and he loves radios.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And the local football team at the high school,
I'm like, bro.
at first they do a bully to him. They put him in a shed and beat him. But the coach, he says, no, we make him the number one mentally disabled man in the town. And so if you don't pay the full parking, radio will be very sad." And then I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. I'll pay $250 for overnight parking.
I didn't.
Overnight
Yeah,
parking.
so he apologized the
Sharks.
next day,
Yeah.
and he said to me he has problems, and that he didn't want me to call his boss and get him fired.
Were they both the same race? Because you made one sound like he was Middle Eastern and the other.
They were both Chicano Latino.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I am as well. I'm from the
Yeah,
West
yeah,
Coast.
yeah.
You know, like I understand La Raza and like,
For
you know,
sure.
I like the Smiths. I like the Day
Are
of the
Puerto
Soldado.
Ricans actually mad about the Tony Hinchcliffe thing?
I don't.
I keep being
I doubt
told
it.
by like Jen Psaki and Abby Phillips that Puerto Ricans are mad, but I feel like
Right.
if Puerto Ricans were mad, you would know.
You would know, yeah.
You know?
I think they're
It
chill.
seems like
it's another
Latinos
lie,
are pretty
like climate
chill.
change.
Right.
They're like, oh, look at the Puerto Ricans are mad. In the same way they're like, the weather is bad. And I'm like, the weather seems the same to me. I mean, I guess it's... Of course, it's bad sometimes.
Right, it doesn't seem like they're any more or less
right.
mad.
Yeah.
If Kill Tony blows Pennsylvania for Trump, it is very funny.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, that is very funny. I don't think that's a real thing, though. But
No.
you know what I realized in all of that? Because I saw it initially where they were like, oh, people are mad about his island of garbage comment.
Uh-huh.
And then, like, I thought he was talking about Staten Island.
Uh-huh.
And then I realized this. At some point in my life, somebody told me that Staten Island was made out of garbage.
Oh, okay.
That it was a constructed island that they had created out of garbage. And clearly
that's not that far from...
Well, clearly that was a joke.
Yeah.
And I've been to Staten Island plenty.
Yeah.
And until that moment, I never realized, like, oh, there's no way that's true.
Until you went there?
No, until 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
I've continued thinking like, oh, this is an island made out of, they just like, it was a landfill, it was a floating landfill, and they kept adding garbage, and then they planted trees on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that until, I'm almost 36. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then I was thinking about other things that I've just there's things, I'm not smart, but like that seems particularly stupid. And there's facts like that I have in my head that are just in there, and I never even, because they got in so long ago, I don't even question them. Like, I just remembered in thinking about that I thought Amber Frost was Chinese until we had lived together for like a year.
No.
Right.
And then we had to have a conversation.
See, I don't really want to know what race she is, though, because it's like a mystery. And she told me recently how old she was, and I said, I didn't know that. Well, I just didn't know. It was kind of fun to like not
I think
know.
she's Caucasian, but
I thought she was half Chinese or something for years, because we've been Facebook friends for years.
Oh, okay.
And then when we finally hung out in person, I was always like, is this person Chinese? Or
right.
like, that's mainly why we were Facebook friends, because
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is this?
Right.
And so I thought she was maybe half Chinese or something. And then the first time we ever hung out, I lived in Chinatown. So she was in Chinatown, and she was like, meet me at Pearl River Mart. I'm shopping.
Uh-huh.
And because she was at Pearl River Mart, I was like, oh, she's buying Chinese stuff for her Chinese home.
For
because
Chinese
she's Chinese.
Yeah.
And then, it was like, I don't know. We lived together for a year, and she was like, so-and-so thought I was Chinese. And I'm like, ha, 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 wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not Chinese?
Yeah.
She's like, no, I'm not fucking Chinese.
I was trying to tell you that. He kept calling her Lotus Blossom.
Okay.
And I was like, she's not Chinese.
Right.
She's just allergic to bees. She's having an allergic reaction.
But I feel like Amber's race is like a secret, though, because it's like she doesn't tell you what she is, so and I don't want to ask.
Which most people do, usually right when you meet them.
Yeah.
Right when you meet them, yeah.
Yeah. I'm Blasian.
Right.
My name is Marcus. I'm Blasian.
Yeah. So it's almost like maybe Amber's race should be a mystery.
Yeah.
Because I never knew how old I never knew if she was older than me, younger than me, and I didn't. It was kind of fun not knowing, and then she told me.
She ruined your fun.
Yeah.
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 She's 27.
She's 27 years old, and she looks
really. She's over the
great.
hill.
Did you get to see her when she was in town?
I saw her boyfriend had a movie premiere.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, right. I saw you. I
You
thought I
saw
saw
me?
you.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if it was you or not. Yeah. And then I had to get another fucking root scaling and root planing done that morning,
Mm-hmm.
where they like numb you all up, and then they'd like dig under your gums.
Yeah.
Which I guess is now I have to do every time.
Yeah.
So I was like fucking, my head was throbbing, and I just wanted to go home. So I just dipped out as soon as it ended.
I wanted to dip out too. Nick texted me and he said,
no, but I had
"Are
a
you at
dental
this premiere?"
problem. You left because you
thought the
were rude.
movie was bad?
No, the movie was great.
Oh, why'd you want to leave then?
Well, Nick texted me and he said, were you at the premiere? I thought I saw you. And I said, yeah. And then I left because I was tired.
Mm.
And I didn't feel like hanging out or socializing or anything.
Yeah.
And I said, what good is going to come out of me going to say hi to Nick?
No,
I mean,
what?
Nothing. We're going to say hi and then we're going to go home because we both don't want to.
We're going to do this.
We're both too old.
With this, whatever this is.
I think this is a good episode.
Oh, okay.
I think you had some real
I've
bangers.
completely-
I'm just sitting here trying to make you look good.
Don't make it like I'm some kind of queen that needs to be made to look good.
Yeah.
I'm lowering my hat.
Yeah. Get me an ad. Oh, guys, by the way, November 8th and 9th, I'll be at the Funny Bone in Syracuse, New York. I forgot that I was doing it, so I should mention it now. Guys, we want to talk about America's first ever USDA organic THC gummy. Our mission at Cornbread is to improve your quality of life with the highest quality hemp. Cornbread is a natural and healthier way to experience a carefree moment. Cornbread's THC gummies offer a balanced sense of happiness and relaxation. America's first USDA organic THC edible, proudly grown in Kentucky. It's a 1-to-1 THC to CBD ratio, perfect for taking the edge off of the day without making you feel anxious or paranoid like any other cannabis edible. 10 milligrams of THC per gummy. And
Yes, we cannabis.
Yes, we cannabis. Yeah.
With
Cornbread uses
Kamala Harris.
Cornbread uses no harsh solvents like petrochemicals or industrial acids. Unlike most hemp THC products, there's no synthetic ingredients, and the Farm Bill complaint, and it's legal for adults over 21. So, guys, have you used Cornbread, Nick?
Yes, they sent us some to the office.
Yeah, and you enjoyed it. It took the edge off your day?
It did. It put me right to sleep. It was nap time, middle of the day. Usually I wake up. I like to get an early start, so I wake up around 11 a.m.
Yeah.
And then, I get my stuff done.
Rise and grind.
Feed the cat, and then I show up at the office around 1:30. And then I go through some expenses from 7 months ago, and I put those into a spreadsheet, and then I print that out, and then I throw it in the garbage, and then it's nap time. And so I'll take a cornbread, gummy, and then I will usually take a nice 6.5 hour nap. And then I go home and I watch probably 6 or 7 episodes of Seventh Heaven.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And is it a different experience now that you know the truth about the guy?
There's one...
it's better.
Shout out to Tim Dillon. That's like a lot of people know that's where he got his start. He plays Dwight on Seventh Heaven in 3 episodes.
Really?
Yeah, young Tim Dillon plays Dwight. And that'll be a fun little treat if you want to look up that character and maybe see those episodes. And when he shows up and you go, oh, that is Tim.
Where is it streaming anywhere?
I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
It's so funny because I would watch that show as a kid and I despised it. But I would just be on.
Would be on.
You get home from school and you'd watch Seventh Heaven, and it's just such an obnoxious show.
Yeah.
And the more you watch it, it's like, this isn't even a Christian family. This is like the father's like the fucking Ayatollah here.
Yeah.
In every scene, there's a private conversation happening where it's like, should I let Dad know that I want to cut my bangs? Mm-hmm. And like the entire family's like Eves. They're outside the door listening, and the dad's like, Mary wants to change her hair without asking me. My children are losing their minds. And then the wife is like, Eric, is it really that bad? He goes, yes, it is. And then it's like this screaming match.
Right.
When I was 22, I tried to recut the intro for Seventh Heaven, where it's like, because the song, like, Seventh Heaven, when I see their smiling faces. It's okay. You're fine.
I know this
and so, we don't need family. Not contributing anything to this.
Seventh Heaven. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
I would give background vote.
And the dad was like a full-on pedophile.
Well, I wanted to recut the intro and just replace all the, the characters like title inserts or whatever, but just with scenes of them screaming or crying, because that was my memory of the show.
Right.
People are always fucking miserable, and Matt's always like it's like, where the hell is Matt? He's been out all night, and it's like, oh, he was helping orphans do math, and like they were like, well, we still have to punish him because he didn't call, and it's like. It's just such a fucking. It's like watching people suffer in solitary confinement. But it's then you're supposed to be like, what a nice family. I don't know who it's for.
Yeah.
I really don't know who it's for.
Yeah.
And the only thing that makes it better is knowing that the father was having sex with children in real life when you watch it. It's like that. He's like, at least he's doing something he actually likes.
Sure.
It
is good to have structure and discipline in your life, though.
Huh?
It is good to have structure and discipline.
But they don't really
life.
have that.
No. Okay.
They're like they live in this big beautiful house off of like his minister's salary. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So if you're looking for a healthier way to enjoy a carefree moment, you can give cornbread hemp a try. They've created the first ever USDA organic THC gummy that's 100% legal as a special offer For our listeners of the Adam Friedland Show, you get 30% off your first order. Just visit cornbreadhemp.com/TAFS and use promo code TAFS at checkout. Again, that's cornbreadhemp.com/TAFS. Use code TAFS for 30% off your first order. Cheers to a happier, healthier happy hour. Cheers to a healthier, happy hour. Let's run that again. Cheers to a healthier, happy hour.
I wouldn't mind taking a stab at one of those.
Whoa. Watch it.
I'm sorry.
You were knocking that over.
Thanks.
I just didn't want you to spill your coffee again.
He's doing it again.
I mean, it's already. It's okay. I think coffee stains are kind of easy to get out of clothes.
I love this look, dude.
You do? It's
the
good,
second
right?
chance finance manager at the used car lot.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, we can sell you the 30-year-old Previa, but it's going to be at fucking 85% APR and, zero down.
Yeah.
For 25 years.
But it's going to end up costing you
$160,000.
Probably about that. Yeah.
I'm just feeling like I need to dress better because I take my kid to preschool every morning in Tribeca. And I go,
no,
I wonder
this
if
looks
I
like
look
you're trying to fuck one of the moms. I mean, this is
too much.
Yeah, dude.
I do want to see the reaction.
What's the talent like at that school?
Of kids?
Not that it matters. No, not the kids.
Oh, the
mommies.
There's one. It's nice.
Not that it matters. I mean,
yeah,
we're happily married men.
You have a career, man.
What do you mean?
Like you're like a notable, like good comedian,
right?
Yeah,
like why are you going to preschool like this?
He's trying.
People are going to think, this guy lost his job. No, it's just that you should go looking like a comedian.
I know, but I feel like
the other dads have to dress like this, and you get to wear like, like your fucking Hezbollah hoodie. And then people are like, how do you get away with that? And you're like, yeah, well, my job is, I talk about cigarettes in Palestine, and then I go do jokes about being Italian.
No, he wants Ben to see his dad in a nice suit picking him up from school.
No, you should be like Kevin Smith.
Okay.
You and your daughter should have the same big Junko shorts.
I just don't want anyone to think I'm like a degenerate. I don't know. I'm feeling a little more.
Do kids think that though? I mean, it's like, are there people that are like it's like, oh, well, how do you think you became an alcoholic? They're like, oh, my dad would wear shorts.
Yeah.
It's like that's not a way you can fuck up a kid is by having whack clothes.
I'm just trying to be less of a commie these days.
Well, I'll tell you what you need to do is watch Seventh Heaven and take a page out of Eric Camden's book.
Okay.
Because that man is a perfect father.
Okay.
There's not a single element of any of his children's lives that he doesn't have complete control over.
Okay.
Even their internal thoughts, they're not allowed. They have to run it by him, and then he issues fatwas from the kitchen.
Okay.
Like that seems like that's the ideal situation. I hate that show.
You're still mad about it.
So much. Yeah, well,
How old were you when you were like mad at the show?
I literally have been watching it every night. I was up till 2 a.m. watching fucking Seventh Heaven last night.
Really?
Yeah, I can't help myself. And then it builds. And I'm sitting there with my girlfriend, and the intro comes on. I'm like, I hate this fucking song. And she's like, do you want to skip it? I'm like, no. It gets
just let it wash over.
It like gets me fired up to just fucking hate these people, and it works. I mean, it's just, but that's like,
and it's like the family's being bad.
The family's never doing anything that's actually bad,
right?
It's
but
like
it's
fucking, Eric, who's like the older brother, who's like 30 years old. Like he stays at
Barry, what's his name?
Yeah, Barry Watson. He like stays at a girl's house till like 5 a.m.
Uh-huh.
And then the dad's like, have you completely lost your mind? And that's like exactly how he reacts. It's like screaming at the top of his lungs. And then they're grounded. But like, what does that mean? Because it's like, they're still allowed to, they're like, well, he can still go to the library and go to school. And it's like, that's all he was doing anyways. He doesn't do anything. The kids don't do anything other than fucking homework.
I think deep down you want to be a member of this family, and you
I
want to
watch.
Fuck you, Dad.
I want to watch more episodes of Seventh Heaven and be like, you fucking piece of shit. And it's good and it's healthy because they're fictional characters.
Now, when there's a TV show like that where there's, I mean, how many seasons of Seventh Heaven are there?
I think there's 7 seasons of it.
So there's 7 seasons, there's probably like 20 episodes in a season. Yeah. How do you approach 22. a piece of content like that?
Just
But you just pick
keep
randomly?
No, you just watch it straight.
You watch it straight through.
Watch it straight through. There was a good one I got. It was maybe episode 5 or 6 of season 1.
Yeah.
And they're living in I'm assuming this is supposed to be like Northern California. I think it's like Elk Grove or something.
How
like
far
that.
into the series are you?
I'm close to the end of the second season now.
Okay.
So they're in.
It's like Sopranos.
So, but he's watched like 20 hours.
They're
of
in like
Seventh
suburban
Heaven.
Sacramento.
But he's already seen it. This is like his 4th time around.
They're in suburban Sacramento. No, this is the first time I've sat down and watched the show. I mean, it was on all the time when I was a kid, so a lot of this I'm familiar with, having seen the show.
Yeah.
But so they're in suburban Sacramento. And the year is 1996, and somebody burns down the black church. You know.
Because that's
that's
happening all the time.
That's happening there. And so the black church family has to move in with the Camdens for a week while they I don't know why they have to move in with them. I think it's because they're worried somebody might burn down their house also.
Right.
And so it's like 1950s Alabama. It's fucking insane. Like
in the heat of the night.
People are burning down the black minister's house and all this stuff. I mean, yeah. So they have to live with the Camdens. And they live with the Camdens, and the children, they have a scene. They move in, and all the black kids are on one side of the living room, and the white kids are on the other side of the living room. And the white kids are like, "So, do you like things?" You know, it's like they've never.
They've never met a black person.
They've never met a black kid, and so one by one they start integrating, right? And
that's beautiful.
And so they pair off because obviously the black family have the same kids of the same age,
right?
Oh, nice.
And they brought all their grandkids in too, right?
So it works their way up from the bottom. So the babies, because they haven't learned prejudice yet, they get along right away.
Oh, okay.
And then Simon,
so they're automatically
and then Simon and the black boy, they
so
become
of course
friends.
you're prejudiced against the people who are living in your house.
Right. But I mean, it's like they might as well be fucking aliens. And Simon and the black child or son, they become friends, and they go to a park and they're playing, and then Simon decides to take all his toys away, and then a bully on the park calls him an N-word lover, and Simon punches him in the face. I mean, it's like,
and they drop it. That's the kids.
It's insane.
Yeah,
it's
that's
fucking
insane. Wow.
That an 8-year-old would be dropping
the N-bomb,
but N-word lover.
N-word lover, yeah.
You know, it's
where do you even learn it? Yeah.
It's nuts. You know, and then Simon's like, you take that back.
Jesus.
Meanwhile, at the same time, the same character Simon is like, Mom, why would anyone want to burn down their church? He just doesn't understand it.
Right.
But he knows about the N-word and what an N-word lover means, and that's happening on the playground.
Right.
Of course.
Lucy becomes friends with the black daughter, and so Lucy comes out and she looks
Lucy's
like Bo
the baby.
Derek now. She's got fucking braids.
Oh, right.
And then the father's like, what is this? And normally if she had braids, that would be a screaming match in the house, and he would make her shave her head.
He has to accept
and
it.
spend like 10 days in that black cube in Mecca, as punishment. But not this time.
Wahhabist family.
So they come out, and the family, they see Lucy's braids, and she's like, look what Kaisha did,
Yeah.
And then Kaisha walks in the frame. She goes, it's an ancient African hairstyle dating back to, and then explains that this is an ancient African hairstyle, and that's why she has the braids. So that's their cultural sharing.
Yeah.
And then the final part is the older black brother and Matt. They take the longest to get to. So at one point, they take the longest. Simon is in.
Are the parents at odds too, or they're cool with each other?
No, they've
They're
invited
cool
them.
because they're boomers and they solved racism.
They went to Woodstock.
They understand. Yeah, they remember fucking listening.
They're
to,
Che Guevara.
Yeah, exactly. They remember. Well, they weren't. They weren't they were probably.
No, he's an evangelical Christian.
They were
minister.
vaguely aware of soul music.
Yeah.
So that means they don't have to. They get all this. This is because it's 1996. So the prevailing mentality at the time is boomers solved racism.
Boomers solved racism.
We fixed
People
the
are
world.
overreacting to Rodney King. It's like so that's Anyways, so then the older brother and they don't really get along because the older black brother is he's kind of surly.
Yeah.
And Mary's like, hey, do you guys want to play basketball? He's like, oh, because that's what we like. We like basketball, huh? You think that's what we do after church? And so, Matt and him, there's tension. And then they go to pick up the kids at school, right? They go pick up Simon, and Simon's taking a while to get out, because he's in suspension for punching that boy that called him an N-word love.
Oh, he got in trouble for that.
He got in trouble for it, so he's in after school
That's an
suspension.
injustice.
Yeah,
did the boy get suspended too? The one who dropped the N-bomb?
They don't mention
No, he's the principal now.
Yeah, no.
He got a promotion.
Yeah. Well, you have to understand, this is Sacramento in 1996. This is...
He's on paid leave. The other kid.
So normalized.
Yeah, racist place, yeah.
Yeah.
And so the school security guard, he sees them parked outside in the loop where people park to pick up their children from school. Right? That's where they go. And it's after school.
Yeah.
Time where you'd be...
I think I know where this is going.
So Matt comes out there. He's like... he sees the black kids. He's like, what the hell are you all doing over here? And Matt's like, we're just picking our brother up from school, man. Stop giving us a hard time. Doing this.
Yeah.
Really doing his acting, man. Man, could you just stop giving us a hard time, man? We're just picking up my Christian brother from school and his friend.
Because the security guy's like, there's a black guy in your car.
There's a black guy in the car.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, well, my job is to keep vandals. Looking at the black guy. Vandals.
Yeah.
Away from here. Vandals and miscreants. So you guys are going to get back in the car and leave. He's like, we're picking up my brother, man.
Yeah.
You're not even a real cop. And he's like, get back in the car and leave or whatever. And they're like, whatever, man, forget you. And then I think they just leave Simon. I can't remember if they even pick him up or not. But they leave and they're getting back to the house. And then they're walking back and the black brother is like, man, why do you think he gave us a hard time back there? And Matt's like, I don't know. The guy was just a rent-a-cop dick. He's like, oh, you think that's all it was?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like trying to explain. He's like, man, everybody's afraid of me. Did I ever do anything to you? Did I ever threaten you? Did I ever hurt you in any way? But you're afraid of me too, just like the security guard was. And then Matt says to the black kid, he goes, no, you know what the issue is, man? It's your attitude. All right?
Oh, no.
You go around with a chip on your shoulder like everybody owes you something.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You're living off the dole.
And then the black older brother, he goes... he takes it into consideration.
Wait, that's the lesson?
That's the cultural sharing that happens is that...
They have bad attitudes.
Yeah, they got bad attitudes.
They were just waiting for handouts?
They got bad attitudes. And
what?
So Matt teaches the older brother that it's because black men have a bad attitude. That's why stuff like Rodney
welfare
King is...
Oh.
Yeah. And then at dinner...
And
right,
like,
at dinner,
what?
There's an ongoing joke throughout
suit.
the episode where each family member, it goes down the line until they take turns, where somebody says, if you rub salt on butter, it heats up, and then they pour salt on the butter stick, and then he goes, yeah, put your hand over it, and then when they put the hand over it to feel it, so the other person smashes their hand in the butter.
Good prank,
right? Yeah. And then the dads are like, oh, I remember this trick, and it's like, what? No, but this isn't a trick. It's some weird fucking thing you made up.
They're going to end up with a grease stain on their shirt.
It starts with Matt, and they do the trick down the family until it gets to Ruthie, and then Ruthie does it to the older black brother. And then this is after Matt's speech to him about his attitude, right?
It's your attitude.
Yeah.
It's your shitty attitude.
And then, but before how the butter gets to the table, right? Because Matt says that to the older brother, and the other brother remembers, he's like, oh, it's my attitude problem. That's why black males are,
Oh, my God.
And, so then they're at the dinner table, and the mom says, Matt, can you go tell Lucy to bring the butter into the kitchen? And Matt, instead of getting up, he goes, Lucy, bring the butter into the kitchen. And then they kind of look at him, and he shrugs or whatever. So what Matt has learned from black people is being loud.
Being loud and abusive to women.
He's loud. That's what he picked up. Is
yelling at women?
Yeah, is screaming.
Wow.
So he's learned that. That's the cultural sharing that happens between them.
Christ.
Yeah, and someone's getting residuals from that episode.
Right. Yeah, and then the
rapist is.
Yeah.
The episode, of course.
Whoever wrote that is, with
the parents obviously almost fucking while dancing to Louis Armstrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, that's black music?
Yeah.
Like, what a wonderful
black music
world.
from the 30s.
Yeah. It's not like Marvin
They're
Gaye.
listening to Scott Joplin.
It's not Motown.
Yeah.
It's not Big Show music.
Yeah.
They're listening to Hello Mammy.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that is demented.
Sorry. That's not how the episode ends. The episode ends with the black pastor deciding to hold a service at the
white church?
No, at the remains of where the black church is. So there's some of the altar is still visible, the stained glass is still there, the rest of it's burned out, but they do it outside, right? And so they have chairs set up, and then you see all the people in the town coming together to attend the black church's service, the first one since it got burned down. So we see the white people showing up, we see the black people showing up, then we see a Sikh man showing up for some reason. There's a guy with a turban and the whole outfit on, and then 2 Wahhabist Saudi princes.
Muhammad Atta.
And those are no, literally they've got the
just the 9/11 hijackers.
They've got the whole outfit on. They're dressed like they're in fucking Dubai or some shit.
Adam's parents show up.
Yeah, well, no, that's it.
My mom
and then
said.
that's it for the cultural sharing. Is they have
I forgot.
For some reason there's a Sikh man and then 2 Saudi princes, and then they're like, and that's everybody.
Yeah.
And we're all here.
And that's all the kind of people.
Yeah.
In suburban Sacramento.
Yeah.
And he gives a good sermon.
He's like, he ends with like, he's like, I can't help but be reminded of my son's words. Dear God, please stop the fires. And and then freeze frames.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
It's your attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, so he learned how to act right.
Who?
The older
He
black
learned how to
kid?
pull his pants
That's
up.
all. Is you get that one moment, and then Ruthie smashes his hand in the butter, and you can see he wants to be mad for a moment and kill her naturally.
Right.
He's gonna have his gang kill her, but then he remembers Matt's speech. Yeah. And so he stops.
He was gonna wild out on her.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I wanted to talk about something called Kalshi. Next week, as you know, Mike, what is next Tuesday?
Next Tuesday is one of the Jewish holidays.
Come on. Brother.
Also, this
Diwali's on Friday. I know Diwali's on Friday.
I'll just put this. Speaking of Diwali, I found out something that's so good. It's like, sometimes when you see something that's like it's overwhelming how good it is that you can't even laugh at it.
Yeah.
You're like, this is too much. Like I was in Montreal one time and I saw there was a woman with a Vietnamese potbelly pig as a pet.
I remember that.
And I went up. No, you weren't there.
Yeah, I did. I took a picture.
This was when I did JFL in 2012.
Whoa, that lady was in Montreal.
No,
we were there
I did in
2011.
2011.
Piece of shit, dude.
No, it wasn't.
Oh yeah, no, this is my story also. It was in 2012 when I did JFL. So I went. Where was it then? Where'd you see her?
In Mile End.
In where?
Mile End.
Mile End.
Yeah, in the neighborhood, Mile End neighborhood of
I don't
Montreal.
know that neighborhood.
Dasha took
Adam,
a
you
picture.
don't
My
think
ex-girlfriend Dasha took a picture.
Produced
of
the picture. I saw a lady with the.
It was not produced.
I say produce the picture.
Okay, text her right now.
No, you do this.
Should we call her?
I don't believe you.
We'll call her.
You chose to insert yourself.
No, you chose violence.
No.
I don't know what that.
I saw the pig. I go up to the lady, and 'cause I'm like, wow, pig, and the pig has its penis out, and she's like, he's having a hard time right now, and his penis is out, and it's leaking cum, and it's shitting at the same time.
Okay.
So I don't know what's going on, but I'm like,
knew it was coming.
I'm surrounded by people speaking French, and it's like this is just too funny, or whatever. And that's but I couldn't even laugh at it because it was like so absurd. So, anyways, how this relates to Diwali, I recently found out that in 2012, Bollywood remade the film I Am Sam.
No.
Oh wow.
And there's a Bollywood version of I Am Sam
it?
that has sword fighting and dinosaurs in it.
Okay.
Does it have a dance sequence?
Yeah.
We have to watch it.
You got to think about there's so much that we're missing out on just being in our little bubble.
America.
Yeah.
The bubble of America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you find? Have you seen it?
Well, you go to fucking Mumbai and you start supporting Israel.
Sure.
Yeah.
Start tweeting about them a lot.
Yeah. I love those guys.
They love
That's
Israel.
this conflict. You would think it would make people anti-Semitic, but I think it's making people hate Indians.
Yeah.
If you're just on Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, these Indian guys are insane.
The best was seeing them
Yeah.
respond
Kill
to
all
Mia
of them, and then
Khalifa.
they pretend like they live in Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys were so mad at Mia Khalifa.
They're like, I'm in a bomb shelter right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, Israel is so very, very strong and so beautiful and powerful. I love you,
I
Israel.
love you.
Kiss, kiss. It's like, this is not an Israeli person. This is. Yeah.
Yeah, they got so mad at Mia
Why are they
Khalifa.
so invested? What?
Mia Khalifa for being pro-Palestine.
Oh, I'm sure.
They're like,
Yeah.
you bitch dog. Because
Yeah.
you could tell they loved her so much.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
And that was
yeah,
the final straw.
Yeah.
The hijab, blowjob, they bent a couple rules for that, but then disrespecting Israel is their final straw.
Yeah.
I delete all your movies. Yeah.
It's got to be tough being betrayed like that.
What are you talking about?
It's when somebody that you love, you feel like they turned on you.
I know. It is really hard. That's how I felt when I found out Trump was a Republican this whole time. That's how I felt when I found out Kamala was black. I thought she was Indian.
I thought she was Indian.
I thought she was Indian this whole time. Yeah. Guys, do you want to talk? We want to talk to you about something called the presidential election, which is on Tuesday. How many seats do you think the Democrats or Republicans will win in the Senate and or the House? Well, there's finally a legal way to bet on the outcome of these elections via a platform called Kalshi. Kalshi is the first legal exchange where you can bet on any event, including but not limited to elections. Kalshi went to court and won legal approval for election betting for the first time in over 100 years. They have markets on who will win the presidential election, who will control the House and Senate, who will win the swing states, and more. Kalshi is already being used by hundreds of thousands of people and has facilitated over $1 billion worth of trades. So let's take an example right now. Trump and Kamala are trading at 50-50. Not right now. Trump's up.
They're not trading at 50.
Well, this is what it said in the copy, but I think Trump is up right now. I think it's like 65-35.
That's the move, folks, is go bet on Kamala Harris on all these betting
That's
websites.
a smart money move.
Because even if she loses, I mean, it's still like... Right?
Isn't
that how odds work? It's like if the real data shows 50-50 and the betting market shows something different than that, then it's a smart bet no matter what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like you don't fold on pocket aces. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I think that's true.
I bet on the Super Bowl years ago in 2020, right before the pandemic, and then I won, and then I couldn't seem to get the money out of the betting website.
That's not a problem at Kalshi because they're the only legal fucking place.
Yeah, because I had to convert the money to Bitcoin or something to get it out.
And then that goes to Iran immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. And if you place a bet on either, let's say it's a 50-50 odds, you will double your money if they end up winning. So that's pretty good. So put your money where your mouth is and sign up using my link, kalshi.com/TAFS. The first 500 traders who deposit $100 will get a free $20 credit. Guys, this is revolutionizing the world of betting. That's kalshi.com/TAFS. And guys, let's bet on Kamala.
You guys have Halloween plans?
Oh, that's tomorrow, isn't it?
It's tomorrow. It always sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
And I never have enough time to build the costume, and then when you go to the store and everything's picked over.
Yeah.
And then your wife.
Why don't you just duct tape a bunch of pizza boxes to yourself?
And
then
what?
People are like, "What are you?" And you're like, "I'm Mike Recine."
Okay. I'm picking my kid up.
Yeah.
I guess I could do
my
that.
My kid goes to the school.
I mean, I had a lot of good ideas, but my kid wants to be Sonic the Hedgehog, so now I got to be Tails, and Mommy's got to be Knuckles. So it's like I don't know if there's going to be a Tails costume.
Why can't you guys just be Sonic's parents from the movie?
Did he have parents?
He did. He's fucking. It's Cyclops from X-Men.
Oh, and and the black lady.
Yeah,
yeah.
Those are his parents, right?
Okay,
Don't they adopt Sonic at the end of the movie?
I think so. Yeah, James Marsden, right? He's like the sheriff. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's actually such a good idea. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, just put Deb in blackface.
Yeah.
And then you go pick your kid up, and Deb's like,
for Ben.
"I'm Sonic's mom." Just go explain that in line at Starbucks.
What the fuck's everyone looking at?
What's the problem? I'm Sonic's mom.
My son's dressed as Sonic.
My son's being
He's not
Sonic.
here.
I'm playing his mom. Probably the worst blackface you could do.
Sonic's mom?
Yeah, the worst excuse to do blackface. Can you imagine Justin
It's like
Trudeau being like, "I'm sorry, I was playing the role of Sonic's mom for Halloween, for Canadian Halloween, which is every day. And so I was playing Sonic's mom, and
Sonic's mom.
And the costume got a little out of control. That's how we do it in Canada."
Yeah,
I've been rewatching
He did
Degrassi too.
Degrassi?
Yeah,
How's that?
great.
It's his favorite show.
It's the best. It's the best show on fucking television ever made.
Okay.
There's an episode where, so it was crazy because I always like for years I was always like, who does Jared Kushner look like? And it's Darcy from Degrassi.
Okay.
They have the same face. And so Darcy got raped, and so she has emotional problems now. And so she's acting out in school, and she tells Mr. S. And that's the other thing noticing on a rewatch. It's very funny. Like 90% of their education seems to be like a class where you learn how to use Google.
Yeah,
like computer class.
They're always in the media immersion class with Mr. S.
They're always in computer class.
Right. And so, she confides in him, and then at one point she gets like, her boyfriend breaks up with her to, I think be either in a band or to be into his Honda. Or no, he gets into he's dating Emma, and then he's dating fucking Darcy at one point. But so she's just trying to fuck anybody that'll fuck her. Eventually she tries to fuck one of the bad kids from the other high school that get integrated.
Oh no.
And but that guy won't fuck her on the roof either. So she goes to Mr. S, and she's like touching his hand, and he's like, Darcy, I don't think I can be your confidant anymore. So she tells him what happened, and then so she's like, I was raped, and he's like, okay. And so he brings her into the principal's office with the counselor, and he's like, you want to tell them what you told me? And she's like, okay, Mr. S, I'll tell them. Mr. S has been rubbing his penis against my shoulder, and he's like, he's been touching my legs and being weird to me, in class. And then they're like, oh, Mr. S, this is fucking, this is really bad. And they're like, you're suspended without pay. And then, of course, it's like, this is 2003. So the students are like, hey, Mr. S, did you know there's actually a slam website about you? There's like a web like Mr. S is a pedophile. There's like, animations on there. Yeah, about him. And so he's suspended, and then fucking there's this whole drama about him having to Darcy tells the truth, but then there has to be an official investigation. And so like a couple episodes later, he gets off the phone, and he's there with Emma and Emma's mom, and he's like, guess who is officially not a pedophile?
What?
Yeah. It's like a line on the show. Oh. No, sorry. I fucked it up. He goes, guess who has 2 thumbs and is officially not a pedophile? This guy. Yeah, that's the line.
Why is he not a pedophile?
Because
the
cleared
rape
him in
kit
the
came back clean. Darcy was a lying bitch.
She was lying.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, she admits to lying. She was lying.
Uh-huh.
Because she didn't want anybody to know that she was sexually assaulted. So she accused the teacher of molesting her instead.
There's like a rape every episode of that show.
Oh, okay.
Degrassi.
I never
it's
really
insane.
saw it. Yeah.
I remember when Nick showed me Degrassi for the first time, and he just looked at me once. He goes, this show goes fucking hard.
Well, the first episode is like Emma getting kidnapped by a pedophile.
Yeah, Emma almost gets murdered.
Yeah. It's the first episode of the show.
Right.
She meets an online boyfriend, and it's a pedophile, and he lures her into a hotel room, and he gets her cornered in the bathroom, and then Toby and JT, the other students, save her.
Okay.
Yeah. With the parents.
And then the next episode, they're just back in class.
Great.
They're resilient people up in Canada.
Yeah.
They nearly get murdered and raped every episode, and then
back then nobody had a YouTube channel.
And then once you get like 4 or 5 seasons into the show, every single scene there's always a heightening of the drama, so Drake gets shot. That's everybody knows that about it. And so he's in a wheelchair in the show, and then he's dating Ashley, but he has to go to rehab, and he shows up at rehab one time, and one of the other rehab guys just casually walks into the rehab thing, and he's like, yo, you're fucking walking? He's like, what happened? And he's like, oh, I got experimental stem cell surgery, and he's like, what? And you can walk now? He's like, yeah, it worked. And then he develops a crush on this girl who's also handicapped, who has a special car that she lets him drive, where you use like the gas and the breaker and this sort of thing. And he leaves Ashley for that disabled girl, and she's like, I'm going to Belgium to get the experimental stem cell surgery. And so Jimmy's like, well, I want to do that too. And he asks his mom and dad, he's like, can I go get the experimental stem cell surgery? And they're like, absolutely not. I don't know. There's no reason for it.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, they're like, no way.
So you can walk again?
And so he goes to his dad's office, and when he's in his dad's office, he sees his dad is fucking his secretary, right?
Uh-huh.
And so so he goes back and he steals the money from his dad's office, the $10,000 to get the surgery, and the dad's like, you know, oh, so should we call the police over this? He's like, maybe should we tell mom that you're fucking the secretary? And so he blackmails his dad into letting him get experimental stem cells.
So he can walk?
So he can walk again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, no, the show's
I
great.
love writing, dude.
Yeah.
I love,
Degrassi's amazing.
Because the thing about being a writer, you gotta make something out of nothing. You gotta construct a story.
Yeah, but it's all like 90-year-old like Jewish men.
Right.
Sure.
Well, and then they have all these like
patient
homages
zero for the HIV crisis.
They have this like series of Fast and the Furious episodes because that came out and it was popular.
Right.
So Emma's boyfriend, who's like a rich kid, he gets a Saab 9.6 for his birthday.
Okay.
And I mean, it's so funny. It's like baby blue, and it's like a cabriolet.
Just the gay car.
Right, yeah. I mean, it should come with like a little bulldog that can't be placed on the ground. It's fucking just the gayest car you could imagine. And so, like, he's like really into his fast car, and then they go back to school. Emma's dating him. They show up at school. And then Sean shows back up, and Sean is, Emma's former boyfriend. He's the bad boy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And, so, like, Sean doesn't want to ruin Emma's relationship, so he, like, kind of ingratiates himself to the new boyfriend. And he's like, he sees the boyfriend installing, like, an air filter, like a K&N air filter or whatever, something to make this car go faster. Yeah. And he's like, what you really need is you need more fuel. And he's like, so we can put in, like, fucking, I don't know, like just like better fuel injectors or something. He's like, for my friend to set you up with some real mods,
Uh-huh.
And then so he goes down to the parking lot to meet Sean's cool friends, and they go to the raid and they're racing the cars in the parking lots. Then it becomes this like Fast and the Furious thing where all the other cars are like Supras and Civics and like all of these like import tuners, and then he's got his Saab 9.6, and then him and Sean have a race and for Emma's heart, and Sean runs over a man and
kills him.
And almost kills him, but then they're there, and like the other racers are like, Sean, you got to get out of here. You're a bad boy with a criminal record. He's rich. He'll get a slap on the wrist. And so Sean takes off, and the rich kid takes the heat for it. And of course, he just gets a slap on the wrist. But his cavalier attitude towards harming this man distastes Emma. He's like, yeah, it's a great thing that guy didn't die. I would go to jail for life. And Emma's like, that's all you care about? You don't worry that you maybe hurt that man? She's like, I'm disgusted with you.
Okay.
I don't know if we can be together anymore.
I really miss TV. I miss watching TV.
Yeah,
you can't do it anymore?
I get maybe like 20 minutes.
Yeah, he has a child to raise. It's not like me.
Well,
it's not me, just giant baby man that's subjecting himself to
just
mad
in seventh heaven. Just get a vein popping out of your forehead.
It looks so fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Every once in a while, I'll watch an episode of King of Queens, but I have to Google like what's a good King of Queens episode.
I feel like I wasted my 20s like trying to be in shape and learn things, and now that I'm like middle aged, I'm ordering Chinese food every night. I'm fucking watching bad television, and I'm gonna be a fucking just idiot.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
I watched an episode of Malcolm in the Middle recently, and I was like, "This is great." Yeah.
Remember Craig?
What's that?
Remember Craig?
No. Who's that?
He's the fat coworker of the mom.
And he wants to fuck her.
He wants to fuck the mom.
I forget.
Yeah.
I gotta revisit it. The Bernie Mac show, that was really good.
That's an amazing show.
But that's another one where it's like not every episode is great. So it's
but the boy wasn't right.
The boy wasn't right. Yeah.
He was not right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do kind of have to Google like what episode should I watch. At least I do.
It's a great premise for a show is that Bernie Mac thinks
watch
his nephew's gay.
Watch this clip from the show The Parenthood, which was on WB.
Okay.
Parenthood, it's a Robert Townsend sitcom. It's very funny. I used to watch that with my mom.
Okay.
We loved Faison Love on that show. He was great.
Okay.
But this clip, I've been dying about this one.
Nick, come on. This is my shirt, right? Didn't I tell you to stay out of my closet?
Please.
Are they mad?
Nicholas.
Yeah, I watched an episode of Martin recently, and like Gina goes out of town and she goes to the hotel, but Martin thinks Gina is like cheating on him.
Mm-hmm.
So then he like goes to her hotel room and he like hides under the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I've never been under a bed at a hotel.
One time I was at a bar and I was talking to a girl. I was like 21.
Okay.
And we were sitting at the table and there was a dartboard there and there's darts on the table. She's like, "You good at your darts?" And I was like, "Totally." And I just picked one up, threw it, bullseye. The coolest thing I've ever done.
Wow.
Yeah, just by chance. I mean, I wasn't even looking. And I was like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
And then I think I just played Big Jenga for the rest of the night. I don't think I fucked that lady, but I subsequently blew it.
Okay.
But in that moment,
I'm sure you could have. Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
Another time I was watching Martin,
Uh-huh.
there was a series of Martin episodes on, right? And Martin started, it was still fading in, right? And I was sitting there with a friend of mine, and I was like, "This is the one where Gina gets her head stuck in the bed frame."
Okay.
In the headboard, and it was
Yeah.
off just fading in on the opening.
Just the first frame.
Wow. Yeah, first frame. This is the one where
Damn.
Gina gets stuck.
And you're like perfect.
Nailed it. Yeah,
Headshot.
That was just a lucky guess, or you knew?
I'd say it was maybe 60% luck. Yeah.
Sometimes things just line up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Were you even looking at the dartboard when you
No.
threw it? Wow.
No, just
You could have hit somebody with that dart.
no, easily.
But it was
I
a
was
bullseye.
trashed.
It
I was
could've-
so drunk.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
It could have gone really bad.
Yeah, they had these. It was at Iron Horse on East 6.
Okay.
And which maybe it wasn't Iron Horse because
You said
somebody
you were, like,
told me that
21.
was a gay bar, and I don't remember it being
It
a
was
gay bar, but I would
probably
go there
was.
a
It was
lot.
probably a guy.
Sometimes
that
you
you're
just
talking-
wander into a random bar
And it might have been a
just
gay
feels
bar
right.
because their
Yeah.
signature drink was like Five Alive with vodka in it, and,
Uh-huh.
like whipped cream on top.
Mhm.
And
Oh no, that's not gay, dude.
yeah, and I would drink a lot of those.
That's what.
Yeah.
They're called like Orange Sunrise or something like that. I forget the name they had for it.
I mean, you guys also know I'm a big fan of this show. In addition to being your friend, and I was listening to your day drinking story on YouTube a few weeks ago.
Oh, with Steven?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you can go on
The
YouTube and
Union
Google
guy.
Adam's day drinking story,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very, very funny.
That was that was an early idea prior to the Adam Friedland show, which is doing interviews, but with those kind of people.
those kind of people.
Yeah. But instead, we kind of were. I'm a fake bitch, so I wanted celebs. you know?
Yeah. Well, that kind of stuff's great, but it's hard to put together. I
Yeah.
imagine.
What, interviewing freaks?
Interviewing people.
Some people are good at it. Speaking of, did you see they brought Borat back out
Yeah, he bombed.
for Kamala?
Yeah, I hated it.
Yeah, that seems like a weird choice.
Well, he's also he loves Israel.
But it's like, are people like, oh my God, Borat?
Yeah.
The movie came out 20 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah. 06.
You were 6?
2006.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much the best moment in my life. Was
Maybe.
being in the theater seeing Borat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that's the happiest, purest laughter I've ever experienced. It was just like
Not me. I always thought it was racist.
yeah.
towards- Oh, I
knew it the whole time.
Come on,
I
dude.
always knew it was.
Come on, dude.
I thought it was
fucking
incredibly
snowflake.
offensive to the proud
Incredibly-
people of Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan.
And I thought that at the time. I bit my tongue about it. I'm just saying.
yeah.
But I've quite literally always been a principled.
I was
leftist.
vilified.
Yeah.
I was vilified for it.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. The first time I voted, 2020. But no, yeah, I always thought that. Yeah, to me that was.
Right, because what was
distasteful.
anti-Muslim about it? They said it was anti-Muslim.
I don't know, because people in Kazakhstan are
Yeah.
Muslim.
Yeah.
I think it was more people found out that guy like made the next series of movies he did with like full collaboration with the Mossad and CIA.
Right.
You know, it's like-
Yeah.
And that's more of the thing that's an issue than the, that it might
The
be offensive
bigotry.
to people from Kazakhstan.
Right. It was funny because they had the kid, and the kid was smoking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
when in Borat.
in the Borat movie, he's like leaving his village, and the kid's driving the car.
Yeah.
The kid's driving the car, but the car's getting pulled by a
A
donkey.
horse. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very funny. They're
It's
so
very
poor.
funny. They're so poor.
They're
Yeah.
so poor.
And
Yeah,
his
is
sister's
it the
prostitute.
first Borat when he tries to put the bag over like Pamela Anderson's
Yeah.
head?
The sack. The
Yeah,
burlap sack.
It's so funny.
It's so funny. when he's in Philly and he talks to the black guys. and
Yeah,
he's
what's
like,
up, chocolate face?
Well, yeah, what's up, chocolate face?
Yeah.
Me and my peeps.
But just the delivery on the I thank you so much, and he's a master of physical comedy, and that's he doesn't get credit for that because the characters are so well developed. But
Right.
But yeah, just I don't know if you. What was that? Sacha Baron Cohen did that like award show. Like I forget what it was, but he brought out this old woman, and he's like, she's a Holocaust survivor. And he had her next to the stage, or no, she was the oldest person to ever win an Academy Award.
Okay,
that's what it was. He was like, she's 96 years old, and he has her in the wheelchair next to the podium, and he's just putting her next to the podium, and then trips and pushes this old bitch off the stage, and they're acting like he killed her, and everyone thought it was real.
Real?
Yeah, I mean, for a second it looked. I mean, but it was just so funny, and he's so good at that.
He's incredible.
But just the physicality of him being like, I love you, and you are great, and will you marry me? And then he just, the way he tries to put that bag over that lady's head. Or him and the fat guy chasing each other naked through the convention.
The fight is incredible. That guy's body is so funny.
That's funny.
Asamir Bunkatov or whatever his name is. Yeah.
And then at one point he goes, let's go back to New York. At least there's no Jews there.
Yeah.
Just letting chickens off in the subway, out of your briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, honestly, it's been all downhill for me since that. That is just the purest joy I've ever experienced. I was with my mom, too. I went with my mom and dad, and my mom literally went like this, and she just kept looking at my dad and saying, I'm going to pee, I'm going to pee, I'm going to pee.
Oh, yeah.
She loved it so much.
When he sees the turtle and he goes, what kind of dog is this? Which is now that's how hard that hit at the time for me, I feel.
Yeah.
People saying something is the wrong thing has been too diluted, I guess.
I love
For
it.
sure.
Guys, check out Borat. It's on streaming platforms everywhere.
Check out Stav's movie. Check out Borat.
Check out Stav's movie. Syracuse. Funny Bone. November 7th and 8th. I will be there. Please come out if you're there. If you're an Orangeman. Whoa. The Orange Man's running for president, and Syracuse is the Orangeman. Now it's just the Orange? Why? Because it was offensive to Trump? That's hilarious. But this wokeness is driving me insane.
So everything's just got to be
You can't call him
sterile.
fucking orange anymore.
They took his cock away.
They took his cock away. Now it's just orange?
Now
just
it's
a color?
an orange. It's just the color.
If I'm being honest, I hope Trump wins.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be bad no matter what.
No matter what,
That's
yeah.
always funnier. If we're going to sit here and admit that Borat isn't racist, it's funny. We should also admit that Trump should win the election.
And that's our official. I know the Washington Post is too pussy to do it. This is our official endorsement of Donald J. Trump for president. I want to see him go 47.
Because you know what? I went a little shit lib the first time around.
What do you mean?
The first time Trump became president. I tweeted some kind of shit lib things.
No,
So
you've
now-
always been a principled leftist. You think Borat's racist. That's the thing. Never has there been more of a permanent record of people's opinions than the current era we're living in.
Right.
You can just type somebody's name in and search and find things that they said. And you would think that would cause people to be a little bit more consistent, but it has not.
Right.
People just...
I love flip-flopping.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't believe in anything. I go with the winner. I'm a wait and see kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so guys, don't forget to vote next Tuesday. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We love you.
I love coming in. I got a special out on YouTube. It's called I'm Normal if you haven't seen it yet. And I have a podcast
Definitely check it out.
every week. Thanks. I have a podcast every week called Out for Smokes. I got some dates coming up. They're all at MikeRacine.com. I'm doing Schenectady in a couple weeks. Schenectady, Detroit,
Why'd you
Tampa,
look at me as if
Minneapolis.
I have some kind of...
That's like Nick
Because I
talked
remembered
about.
that I had a gig.
Oh,
I said-
but you said you were like, I'm doing Schenectady, like a...
Because I
'Cause
couldn't
you love
remember.
Synecdoche,
I couldn't
New
remember
York.
where
I do
it
love
was.
the movie.
Yeah, and
It's
he
a hard
connected
word
that
to
in his mind.
It's a hard word to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
It is
It's a great movie.
Synecdoche, yeah.
I'll check
Really
it out.
funny.
Yeah.
No, I mean it. It's very fucking funny. I was crying laughing last time I watched it.
Yeah?
I mean, Kaufman's like the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
He is. He really is.
I just the
it's
scene
really ambitious
with
too.
Philip Seymour Hoffman digging through the toilet, looking at the feces, and being like he just sighs. He sighs in a way that's like this. He's upset by the feces. Like there's something wrong with it. You know what I mean?
The poop disappointed
It's
him.
like there's something
Yeah.
wrong with it, and it's something that comes from deep inside of you. It's like, it's just so funny because it's such a funny allegory for this like this like bizarre type of self-obsessed kind of like neuroses, like because all of Charlie Kaufman's movies exist in his head, and it's like this kind of like obnoxious like neuroses that, you know, it's kind of why I don't like Woody Allen stuff, you know. It's like all that like neurotic art that's like about like, oh, I'm so anxious or whatever. It's like nobody gives a fuck about you. That's not what it's about. And so Charlie Kaufman does it, but Charlie Kaufman does it knowing that in and of itself is like kind of fucking pathetic and annoying. So there's like a self-awareness to it where it's also, and there's no better visual analogy for that than a man sifting through his own feces, being like, you know,
yeah.
But the sigh is like a not again sigh, right? It's like a very like it's like oh, this is a fool me twice situation. It's not like a sigh like you know what I'm saying? Like it's so matter of fact also.
God, I don't get to experience.
No, I'm sorry. You left me hanging on that.
What do
you know
mean?
what I'm saying? It's a sigh of like digging through one's own shit. The assumption would be that it's the first time you've ever done it. But then the sigh implies like, oh, not again.
Okay.
You guys.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I can't see you, dude. I don't have my glasses on.
Here, take mine.
Did I tell you about that? I was on a fucking... I didn't tell this story on the show. I was on a plane like fucking 2 weeks ago. I took a nap, right? And I had my glasses off, and I just put them like... I put them like here on the chair. You know? And I woke up, and my glasses were gone. And I'm like, the fuck? You know, I'm like digging through my bag, and like 5 minutes go by. I'm like, how the fuck did I lose my glasses?
Yeah.
And then the guy next to me said something, you know, it was about something. And I'm like, I don't like even know what he said, you know. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, it's like, oof, it's hot up here, you know, something like that, right? And I'm like, yeah. And I look over, and he's holding my glasses, and he's like, you know, he's like putting them back on his face, and he's just wearing my glasses.
On a plane?
Yeah, and it's like the guy right next to me, and I'm like,
crazy.
I'm like, oh, you're wearing my glasses. He's like, excuse me? I'm like, you have my glasses on your face. And then he looks at his laptop and he goes, "Oh, no wonder."
What?
It's my glasses.
What? Oh, he thought they were his.
He thought they were his, but I mean, yeah, he's doing like spreadsheets or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh yeah," but just picked up my glasses. And he was,
Did he
like,
even
trying to
wear
work
glasses?
while wearing? I mean, he probably must have, but yeah. And then it was crazy. I don't know what he was doing, but it was like the tiniest. It was like a spreadsheet with like 80 million cells on it. So he's just giving himself a fucking headache with the wrong prescription.
Yeah.
Very funny thing that happened.
That's hilarious, dude. Man.
All right, boys.
All right, boys.
Pleasure.
Okay, all right. Well, me and Pete are going to get something to eat.